Hello, I'm Amy Jackson, Director of the Perch, and I am popping on to walk us through our mindfulness practice for today. This practice is practice 6 from our mindfulness workbook, and it's called Regain Focus. And it just seems like an especially fitting practice for us in this time. And as you know, news keeps changing, as we keep getting updates, as things keep shifting, I think it's really important that we have a practice like this that can help us regain focus, help us kind of resettle into mindfulness when we begin to feel anxious, when we begin to kind of have that spiral of thoughts in our minds. And so, this is, I think just a really helpful, simple practice. And so I'm going to walk us through it today, and you can do it with me, or you can, take notes and do it on your own when you feel like it's appropriate, or rewatch this video whenever you're ready to do it. So the whole idea behind this practice is to give you a tool to help you kind of, again, regain focus, regain some composure when you begin to feel out of sorts or frustrated or anxious. And so that kind of describes so much of our time right now. And so it kind of is very simple, so that no matter what you're doing, no matter, what your circumstances are, you should be able to spend a few moments doing this practice and regaining focus. So the first thing that's really important to do is just to pause whatever you're doing. So, if you're in a meeting, you need to say, I need a couple minutes. Let me get back to you, whatever it is. Get yourself to a safe place, if at all possible, or at least just get yourself out of that immediate situation, if at all possible. So we're just going to kind of calm ourselves, take a deep breath, and we're just going to pause whatever we're doing. And the next step is to name what's happening both externally and internally, and think about your body and really paying attention to your body here. So do you feel your fists clenching externally? Do you feel your shoulders kind of hunching? Do you feel tension anywhere? Do you feel your heart pounding? What kind of external things do you feel within your body? Internal things you feel within your body, and then also externally in your immediate surroundings. What do you see, hear, feel? What is going on? So just to really name those, and not just say, ugh, or like make a noise, but really say, like, my heart is pounding, my fists are clenching, my mind is racing. It feels like the world around me is spinning. And so just to have those kinds of really practical naming for what's going on inside and outside of you. And then after you've done that hard work of naming, we're just going to sit and say, I accept this moment as it is. I accept this moment as it is. And honestly, I think this is the hardest part of this practice, because we're going to accept the moment as it is without any judgment. We're not going to say, I should be feeling this way, or I shouldn't be feeling this way, or I shouldn't be reacting this way, or why am I letting myself get triggered? We're not going down those paths. We're just saying, here's what's happening in my body. Here's what's happening inside of me. Here's what's happening in my surrounding. I've named all those things. Whether I like it or not, whether I wish it were happening or not, we're just going to say, this is my reality. This is what's happening, and I accept it as it is. After you feel like you've been able to kind of accept the moment as it is, you'll begin to feel your body start to calm a little bit. You'll feel your heart rate start to slow a little bit. You'll feel your pulse slow a little bit. And it doesn't mean you aren't still anxious. It doesn't mean there aren't still real things to be worried about, but it should have this kind of a little bit of a take the edge off, right? A little bit of this calming effect. And so when you feel like you have started to get a little bit of that, and you feel like you've started to accept the situation as it is, you can move into the next step, which is to check in with yourself and really say, what am I feeling? What do I need? And what led me to feeling this way? So this is where we start to do a little bit of analysis and say, how am I feeling inside? So I see my hands are clenching. I feel that my heart is thumping, but how am I feeling inside? And I think what's really good about this is that there's a natural check, because sometimes we're like, I'm fine. But if we've just named that the world feels spinning, my fists are clenching, my jaw is tight, my heart's racing, you're not fine. And it's okay that you're not fine. So let's name how you're actually feeling now in this moment. And it can be, again, whatever you're feeling. There's no judgment to say I'm angry. There's nothing wrong with anger. There's nothing wrong with any of the feelings. So just say what it is that you're feeling in the moment and name it. And that can give you a lot of power over that particular feeling. And then I think this is really important and we can't miss it. What do you need? When we begin to react, when we begin to feel something, it's because we actually have a real need that's going unmet. So perhaps you start to feel anxious because you don't have enough information, and that's getting you worried because you don't have enough information to make a good decision for you or for your family. Maybe you are starting to feel angry because you're triggered because you are reminded of something from your past and you suddenly feel unsafe. And so you need to feel safe again. And so we need to kind of dig into what is it that I really need? What's that good need that's underlying these feelings, this reaction, so that we can begin to address that real need in a real way. And then finally, what led you to feeling this way? And that's, again, just trying to get at what's going on here. What do you need? Why do you need it? Those kinds of feelings. And again, we do this all without judgment. We're not saying any of this is wrong or right or good or bad. We're just saying this is what the reality is. This is what's happening within my body, with my body. And then how do I move through that and past that? So once you feel like you can name what's going on, how you feel, what you need, and you kind of feel like you've gotten to some resolution with that, you're ready to move on to step number 5. And that's to decide to change things. And this is to be done incredibly kindly and incredibly generously toward yourself. And so deciding to change is not saying you shouldn't feel that way. That's not actually deciding to change. That's actually covering up or minimizing what's happening in the situation. Instead, what we can do is say, I need to kindly give myself what I need. You know what? I'm feeling trapped right now and I need some space. I need some physical space around me. I'm feeling really negative. I'm feeling really worthless. And so I need some positive affirmation in my life. And that's what I need. And so I'm going to give it to myself. Maybe I really need God's truth, or I need time to give myself some space and time to think about it. Maybe I just need another chance to try again. But recognize what you said you need, and then give yourself that as to the best of your ability in the kindest, most generous way that you can give it to yourself. That is so important. And that's it. When you can give yourself what you need, that's a huge breakthrough when it comes to soul care. Soul care really so much is about being able to give ourselves what we need when we need it. But that requires that we actually sit with ourselves and know ourselves well enough and explore and are curious enough with ourselves to say, what is it that we need in this moment? So I wish you luck as you try this practice out for yourself and see how it goes. And I just really remind you again, all these mindfulness practices that we do are really done in a no judgment zone, just to practice them and to see how it works for you. And if you're struggling with it today, maybe try it tomorrow, maybe try it in a couple of days and see how it works then. Over time, as we practice and work on them, we'll find that we're able to kind of sink more deeply into these practices and more fully experience them. So let me know how this practice is for you and how it's helping you, or what questions you might have. I'd be happy to answer them. But I hope you have a great day. Bye.